Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, and 3. We are live. My name is Alex Simon. I am the American in Leeds. I say that I am not in Leeds. It was a pure. I don't know where I came up with it. It was like, I think I was looking at Jesse Marsh and like looking at him like in a, just like the American in London. What's the Sting song? The Englishman in New York. Like I was just like, I don't know, and I just kind of came up with it. Names don't matter. And anyways, welcome in. Please like, subscribe. What else is there to do? Notify yourself. I am not about monetizing. So all of my content will in perpetuity be free. I'm not interested in monetizing. All I'm interested in is honestly having a conversation about Leeds United. So hopefully you guys can come along that journey. And that would be amazing because there's not a lot of Leeds United fans where I am. Everybody's excited for the NFL. So that's why I started this channel, just so I could not go crazy and, talk to myself about Leeds United. I can actually just talk to a camera and maybe get a little bit of feedback. And I met Michael on a previous podcast that we were on. And then Gier, I just cold emailed. So we hope to continue to do content for you. I am super... in case you don't know, I'm super busy. I just full-time job plus and child rearing and etc. So, but I'm going to try to do content when I can. Look, here's the number one thing. I just put my kid down to nap. So I'm able to kind of sneak in on a stream. As I was giving him Sesame Street, I was dosing him with Sesame Street. I was watching the FA Cup. Also watching Twitter, a nervous wreck all week because what is with the Leeds United? The transfer leak comes out and then we're all on Twitter for like 5 days until we finally get a here we go or something official from some reputable journalists about our transfers. Like, I don't know. It just feels like people get when something gets leaked to Fabrizio Romano or reputable journalist, not Twitter sphere, and it gets leaked, it feels like the business happens a lot quicker. And Leeds is always like days of agony, of PTSD from CDK to RDP to, and you're going, oh, we're going to bottle it. We're going to bottle it, folks. We're going to bottle it. And we're not going to get this one over the line. Then you have Dave Ornstein, who's the athletic, guy, is the main Premier League athletic reporter reporting that Forest is going to poach this deal. You're going, oh, you're watching the FA Cup. It's 0-0 going, oh, this is going to be this is going to be a terrible day. Terrible for me morning. Cheers, everybody. We got one over the line. We're in the 5th round of the FA Cup. John, hi. I'll throw this up on the screen. Anybody that wants to chat, please throw it in there. But celebratory mood. I think it was a big transfer, and I'll get into why I think it's a big transfer. The player Weston McKennie that is coming into Leeds, I hope it, it's early to say, he hasn't even signed the papers. He's not in the jersey yet, but he has a lot of moxie. What do I mean by that? He is extremely competitive and he wants to win. He's almost a clicky replacement in the terms of who he is as an individual. He's a little bit of a jokester. I was just talking to Michael on our thread that we have offline. Michael Maynard, aka Leeds United Faithful. Follow him, Maynard M, on Twitter. And we need that kind of like levity in like serious moments throughout the course of the season. And the fact that Clicky, who was kind of a jokester and brought kind of just lightness to moments, really all we now have is Bill Ayling, who can do that. And we need more of that. We just need more jokesters. And that's who Weston McKennie is. He is a guy that is extremely competitive in the moment, but also very, he can kind of disarm you with humor. And and like Tyler's extremely serious. Cooper's extremely serious guy. We're getting the sense that Vober is very serious. All these type captain levels folks. You need the guy that is also kind of going to break up the tension and loosen the group up and get them to play free. And that is what Weston, I think, will bring to this locker room. As far as the player himself, he's extremely good in the air. I think he is going to be hopefully transformative in terms of winning, getting some of those. Like I would throw up stats in some of the games where we would have 15 corners in a game, 11, 15 corners in some of these games, and we would get 0 goals from these. When we have that many set pieces, and this isn't even including the set pieces around the box, we need to score from those. And Weston's going to bring a presence in the box, kind of like Calvin Lewin was. They called him Eric Calvin or whatever. Weston has got hang time in the air, and I think, and he's very, very brave in the air. So the other thing about him is that he grew up playing American soccer, football proper, and he also played football, American football, and American football, I guess, would be similar to a rugby. So he's very physical. He understands how to. He doesn't get bullied off the ball. He's kind of like not similar to Brendan, who's a very high pressing player, but sometimes does get pushed off the ball. And I think, he's only 22, I believe, 22. Brendan will develop. He's kind of a longer term project. And you know what? I'm going to say something that I haven't said since I've started this podcast. Credit Radrizzani. It could be 49er money, but you know what? He's turned the club around. He secured Marcelo Bielsa. This is a guy, after the last window, I actually called for his head. I said that and I didn't say anything controversial. He just doesn't have the net worth, the finances to put this club to where it needs to be mid-table. And he kind of came out and said that. But the fact that he's willing to go for it, whether it be his money or the 49er money, he's still the chairman and still owns the majority share of the club. If Weston is on a permanent deal, this is now a $70 million window or so, at least $40 million with Ruter and Vober. Credit Andre Radrizzani. I'm going to zip up about him for the next few weeks, at least maybe the next few months. Jesse has been backed. Now it is squarely back on his full. Yeah, Joseph, 100%. All down to Jesse now. And I was disappointed in the game a little bit. I said, can't keep a clean sheet. I was so disappointed. We needed to put a clean sheet away, and just a moment of, I don't know, laziness. Is it a coincidence that, your Diego Llorente comes on and we concede? I might be too harsh for him, but all in all, a good match. I think we could have had 5 or 6 today. So it winds up being an excellent day. I'm going to talk a little bit about the nuance of some of what's going on with Weston McKennie, who he is, the American perspective. To me, well, I think if you were to poll the average United States soccer fan, I use that quotations, he's probably the second biggest talented, touted, known player outside of Christian Pulisic. And again, this American kind of narrative only works because Jesse is the manager. There's been, I tweeted out, there's been Fulham that had 5 American players. This team is much more Spanish than it is American. There's I believe 5 or 6 Spaniards on the team, and I think there's a little bit of, biased sometimes with Jesse and his relationship to the players, like being called Aronson, his boy, quote unquote. Again, if this was a Spanish coach and we were to say if Rocca was in a bad run of form, will we start saying that Rocca was the coach's boy? I don't think we would, So, yes, I know he played with him with Salzburg, etc. But I just think that there's a little bit of, and again, it's only 3 American players. The thing that makes this kind of a narrative is the coach. Fulham has had 5 American players on it at one time. The other thing that the Weston McKennie transfer does is it probably pushes Brendan out of his spot. Brendan is been in bad form since his return from the World Cup. I could even maybe we could go back further than that. And he fully deserves a rest. I thought when he came on today, he looks scared. He looks scared in the sense of not the fact that he's not brave on the ball, but the fact that he is just he's just very passive. And I think there were a few times where he went to ground, or I used the term flopped. He flopped on the ground a little bit and was looked up for calls, and he got 1 or 2, but there was times where it was just play on. And, Brendan is going to adjust. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I think he's going to be a longer-term project for the club. He's younger. He's very good at turning people. He needs that bravery on the ball that we saw at Salzburg, that we saw like him in the Champions League and him early on in the season, where he was just kind of turning players. He just turned. His ability to turn is very narrow and quick. And when he's utilizing that, he can be exceptional. Wolves got labeled as a Portugal team. We got labeled as a Spanish team, I think, early on when we got Rodrigo and Diego Llorente and et cetera, but we had Gier did a breakdown. It was like 16 players from the UK, 5 or 6 from Spain, and now it's 3 from America, and then it's like 1, 2 kind of thing. One French player, one onesie twosie type stuff. No, All right. I was gonna make a reference there. Where was Alioski from? I'm blanking. North Macedonian. No North Macedonian players currently listed. All right. Let me get into some of this stuff here. This is great. I just saw Cheer shared this. Let me just do a little bit of a share screen. But overall, cheers, everybody. It's a great day. We're in the 5th round. The only thing that could have been better is if we had a clean sheet. That's the only thing that would make this day better. When it's like we had to concede, but is what it is. Okay, Fabrizi, as they say. Yeah, Gier's got a great point. Can't complain here about the window. where Leeds have technically broken their transfer record twice or very close to it. You know what I mean, winky face. I think he means the possibility of him coming in on permanent transfer. Weston McKennie will travel to England in the next 24 hours and undergo the medical tests and sign a contract as a Leeds United player. $1.2 million loan fee, $33 million plus add-on buy options. Personal terms agreed. I saw an American podcast come out and say he's a starter for Juventus. Yes. All this is true. He's a talented player. He's 24. This is a big 5 months for him. This is another reason why this makes sense. This person is at a very pivotal moment of his career in terms of his ability to generate revenue for himself and for his family. If he performs in England over the next 5 months and gets embedded into this side and we kick on and we're mid-table and he's a massive contributor to our club, he can name his spot. He's going to not just have Leeds United exercising an option. He'll have bigger clubs in England wanting to know his price tag. So that's why I like the loan aspect of this. And I think that it gives him some flexibility to prove himself. You know, this isn't Gareth Bale, knock on wood, coming in for Tottenham and going on the bench and playing in a few games and then effing back off to Real Madrid to play golf. This is, I think, a person who is 24 years old, entering the prime years of his career with a big decision. So his performance here in the best league in the world, and I say that with context that a lot of my American counterparts don't fully understand. I was texting a mate of mine. Take West Ham, currently in a relegation fight along with Leeds and other. West Ham would probably be top 6 easy La Liga. Easy. Like, the Premier League is so difficult. 1 through 20 is so compact, and the top 6 is so good. You know, it's by no mistake that, like, I feel like the Champions League the past few years has been so consistently Premier League teams plus Real Madrid, maybe Barcelona. It's or Bayern. Like, it's no mistake that this is the most competitive league in the world, and pound for pound, just a very deep league. So the fact that he's here, he's playing, he's coming from Italy, which is a weaker league, slower. Like, he'll have a little bit of I think a little bit of a jump. But the reason why they're moving him on isn't because of his play. I got into a little bit of a spat with somebody on Twitter. I said he's not. The concern for me is his fitness. I'm gonna switch back. I just want to catch up on your comments. It's not just about his fitness. It's about his his play. It's about his ability to get his wind up. This is an intense league. And this is a player that was subbed off at like 65 minutes in the World Cup. So now he is getting some time. He played every single minute the last 4 games for Juventus. And Juve has a plethora of midfielders. The reason why he's being sold, other than the fact that they might be desperate for money, is Paul Pogba's healthy. And they have to play. It's like you're not sitting Paul Pogba over Weston McKennie. So Anyways, let's catch up on your comments. 5 goals conceded to Argan, Stanley, and Cardiff. Yes, I do think that Jesse is, especially a relegation fight in the, League One, poor. They just turned off. And I don't know if that was Llorente entering the game, the substitutes. They had also, I think they had 4 substitutes come on at once. People didn't understand what was going on with the marking. There was really no excuse, but they should have had a clean sheet today. The Cardiff first half, I went over in another stream. You had 4 players playing on the back line. Stroik had a shocker. So there's those 2 goals, and then we're up. What are we up? Did we win that one 5-2? We're up, I think, 5-0, and we just turn off. So no excuses. I agree. As the first comment in here says, as Joseph said, it's all down to Jesse now. I agree with that. He got to get points on the board in the league. One thing I will say is Llorente can't start. I agree with this. I don't know. He's been this entire season. I didn't think he was this bad last year. This entire season, he's been shockingly bad. If you remember in the Brentford game where it was the relegation fight last year, he started along Cooper, and Cooper had a shocker. So I rated Cooper lower than Diego Llorente before this season, but Diego's just I don't know how, there's no really way to describe it. He's been terrible. Yeah, and so I was obviously shocked about the 4-year contract. Somebody said that was kind of like a restructuring thing too, so I'm hopeful there that that's not an actual like marriage, that we were just dating. Got to be careful we don't field a whole side with silly haircuts, Mike. You know what? I gotta take a second. When Leeds first came up, and I'm just for context, if there's 22 of you in the building, please smash the like. I'm never going to monetize you. I literally started this channel because I was a Leeds fan, and like literally no one would talk to me about Leeds. I had a buddy that was a Liverpool fan and a buddy that was a Tottenham fan, and they challenged me to find an English team. I found Leeds. I didn't know that Leeds was in the second division at the time, and I've been following them. Really, I started off in the Gary Monk era, and I was like, this team is exactly like the whole story. The team doesn't pick you, you pick the team, or whatever. You don't pick the team picks you. I'm from the Midwest of the United States. I like the grind and the climb and everything, and I was like, loved the ground, loved the kit, loved the fact like they're a sleeping giant. I was like, I'm just gonna go with it. And then we had obviously Christensen hecking finish bottom, that disaster of a year, and we brought in Marcelo. I remember the rebrand of the badge 5 years ago. I was there for that. I was there for when somehow they mistakenly put Osama bin Laden in the seats. So I've been there for the journey. And but yeah, I just want to say, so when all this to say is when Leeds first came up, COVID year, we had everybody with a pony. So I don't know, Mike. I think it's maybe slightly better. I don't know if I liked it with everybody with a pony or a man bun. It seemed to be our thing. We had Phillips, Jack, obviously Luke, Tyler, Roberts. Everybody was sporting the man bun, and so I guess better than that. Tactical manager said some Leeds would easily be a top 10 or top 6 in La Liga. Okay, that's what I agree with. Tactical manager, and I know that channel as well. Smart lad. Yeah, we would. I think we would be. We would be top 6 in La Liga. It's just a competitive. There's only 20 spots. Everybody's fighting for their lives, and even the AFL championship sides are extremely good. As I think everybody's well organized. That's the best way I can put it. Everyone is well organized in La Liga or in England. Every single, and I think they even did like a study on league revenue generation, and the championship, the EFL championship, was something like the 4th or 5th biggest league in the world in terms of revenue generation, which is just wild. That the English second division is bigger. It's bigger than the MLS. It's bigger than, I think it's. I mean, I think it would be on par with some of the Europeans leagues. There's there's news articles and stuff that you can, if you Google English Championship revenue generation, you can find some stuff. So please continue to smash the like. I want to talk a little bit about his father, which is interesting, and also Lexi Lawless State of the Union. So I kind of got in on that. What a absolute! They said that he's not good enough for Leeds. How do I find this? I don't know. Lexi Lawless is, somebody said he's like Gabby for Talk Sport. I would probably be somewhat comparative. We just don't have a lot of analysis in terms of like our soccer or football content. We just it's lacking. So anybody that played the sport, they're just like completely desperate. What do you guys think of this? I probably my I would say colleague or peer put this out. Dan, this is from Dan, LUFC Dan. I agree with this. This has a backline of Struijk, Cock, and Vober. You could probably switch them. Maybe put Firpo in because of his ability to go in forward. I'm almost willing to start to say that because of his performance in the Cups. Ailing, and then a holding midfield of Adams and Raka. Weston isn't a typical 10. He could play on the wings, but I like the fact that he would be in a midfield, and if it's a 4-3-3, Ruter, Rodrigo, and Yanto. Again, Somerville, the attacking options start to get really kind of sexy. Ruter, Rodrigo, Nanto, Bamford is played exceptionally good today. I think he could have been more aggressive on one of the goal scoring opportunities that we had. Somerville, when he gets healthy, Sinistera. I mean, does Aronson? It might be a situation where in May we're going, Aronson needs to get some game time in the U21s. Or like, how can we get Aronson some game time? Aronson's been falling off. I don't know. So the fact that like over the summer, one of our premier signings is now probably fallen to the bench is really good. And so, another thing I will credit Jesse or Jesse's staff, and I'll also throw the physios in there. They've been able to keep this team much healthier. We all know that Bielsa was just working with the threadbare side. It was McCarron. We were putting on teenagers that really didn't deserve chances in the Premier League yet. It's too early for them. Let's see what else we got. I want to look at if I can get his father, because he was digging in. This is an excellent documentary. I sent this out. The Square Ball actually retweeted it, so big up to the Square Ball. This is an excellent documentary on McKinney, him growing up in Germany, with his brother, his older brother, and getting scouted early by a German coach when he was 6, and just falling in love with the game of football. And coming back to the States, into Texas, signing with FC Dallas, but also playing American football, which is kind of like rugby again. That's why I think you see highlights of him being so physical in the air. He's not afraid to throw his head in there. And I think he gets a little bit of that from American football. The only sport that would be comparative would be your rugby. He can mix it up, which I think you will all enjoy in the coming, hopefully, weeks. Again, credit Rod Rosani for getting it over the line. And this is a point I went over earlier. Fulham had 5 Americans on it at one point. The fact that there's 3 Americans in Leeds is not kind of any revolutionary thought. Like, Americans playing for English teams is nothing new. What is making it American or like this kind of like Team America thing, I think, is Jesse. And you can see that Jesse is learning. He's learning. That's all I can really gently say about it. I'm going to look this up. And these were my thoughts, I think, originally when I heard about Weston, and I probably will back these up. He's extremely good in the air. He's extremely good at winning the ball back. He's extremely physical. He's played with some of the best. I mean, this guy's played with Ronaldo. This guy's played with, an incredible team at Juventus, some of the best players in the world. And so I think, like, coming over here is going to be big for him. The other thing I want to add is, and you'll see this in the documentary that I shared, this guy is a competitor. When he plays, this guy wants to win. He does not want to draw. He does not want, like, a bit of like Tyler Adams. Like, you can kind of tell when Tyler Adams comes off the pitch and he has to do a draw or a loss interview, like, he's kind of a little pissed off. He kind of got a little bit of that with Rafinha. Like, there is moxie in this player. There is, I don't know how to describe it. Like, this guy wants to win. He's not going to step on the field with any kind of goal to, like, play for a draw or to manage a game. This guy wants to go for it. He wants to win, and he hates losing. And that's the kind of, like, it sounds easy to say, but you got to hate losing. You know what I mean? And this guy does not want to lose. I think fitness would be a concern early, but it sounds like he was playing in those 4 games for Juventus recently. Because they were marketing him. They were shipping him. But it's good that he's been at least 90 minutes fit the past couple games. And I think it'll still be a step up for him in terms of wind and fitness. It's not Italy, it's England. And the intensity is just, it's like the World Cup game versus England every game. And he had to get subbed off at like 60, 70 minutes during the World Cup. He wasn't playing regularly for his club at that time, but now he is. We'll see. I wanted to see if I could find Weston McKennie's dad. It was just funny. And then I want to check out your guys' comments, and then we'll take it from there. Let's go. Sorry, folks. Just catching up here. Dan James. Yes, Dan James. Dan James, because he had the shirt and did not get it over the line. Hindsight probably should be taken that as an omen. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess we're wishful. So many news outlets are reporting it that I'm going, nothing's official until it's signed, I guess, but I don't know. It's rare that it kind of like this many. I didn't do any streams until it got the here we go from Fabrizio. Nothing's done until it's done, but it seems like this one's done. 28 of you in the building, please smash the like, subscribe, comment. You control the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't control you. There's a ton of subscriptions I have that I don't get because it doesn't show up in my algorithm because I'm getting, stuff that is pay to play. So I'm not. I literally have a laptop and I was doing stuff on my phone. I'm a small channel. I literally do this so I don't go crazy and talk about Leeds to myself. Let's keep it going. Dan James. And the other thing, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Dan James here with Fulham. Would I take him back? Probably not, which is wild to say. He never got a full shake at winger here, but the fact that he can't get on the Fulham side, even as a sub, I mean, he's not even getting subbed on at this point at Fulham. You're not overthrowing Willie at this point, and Jack and Ruter, and so I don't know. The reason why Bielsa liked him obviously was because the pressing. The other reason why Bielsa liked him and Manchester United liked him was he was able to play himself in, which is rare. Yeah, he was able to knock the ball past the defense and then catch it, go get it. Speed is the one thing you can't teach. And I would also say it's the thing also that diminishes probably, it's an asset that diminishes quickly. It's not like, Messi's not as fast as he once was, but he's still extremely dangerous. Same with, you could probably say Ronaldo, etc. Like, as you get older, you have to be a smart football player. You can't just knock the ball past everyone and go chase it. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Dan James. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the summer and the next few days of this window. Would you flick Rocca and Adams? No, Robert. I appreciate you. You're very you're always in the comments and stuff. No, Adams is vital where he's at as the holding midfielder. No, I wouldn't. And if you're referring and McKinney, I wouldn't put as a holding midfielder either yet. So Adams is that comfort blanket that we put that protects the back line. Both the goals that we conceded at Villa, Adams was way out of position. Adams is so vital to what we do. I think he's going to play well with Weston, and I think Aronson now moves to the bench. A lot of American fans are saying, well, watch out. Watch out when Aronson, McKinney, and Adams play together. We're going to see that, but I honestly think the biggest thing that McKinney is bringing now is that I don't see a spot for Aronson. I don't see a spot for him currently. I mean, he's got to prove it. None of the bottom teams have our attacking threat. Absolutely. Chris, it would just be a relief to see if we can continue to pick up a few points, and then the Evertons of the world, who now Sean Dyche will be in, but Everton, Bournemouth, and who am I missing? Everton, Bournemouth. Oh, and Southampton. If those teams can just fall off, fall off, and we can just clearly, it's like the relegation is decided because those 3 teams are just in the bin, so to speak. Be a great season because then we can just relax a little bit. Hello, people. Please, we got a win. Patrick played really well. Jack Harrison scored a beauty. The new lad, Ruter, Mr. Ruter, looks good as well. Only gets better. Boom. Paul. Yeah, Ruter, I thought he played good. You can also see he's kind of a kid too, a little bit. And kind of new kid on the block, but very powerful runner. Jesse said he's quick and he's got a powerful shot. Wish he got one on the score sheet. That would have been the icing on the cake today. So we just X out of this. I've been in that too much. Let's get back into your comments, and then I want to step into Weston's dad because I think he's a cool guy and he kind of gets stuck into the comments on Twitter, which is interesting. Dan James is a stronger and bulked up Aronson, who I feel is hard done by at the start of the season. Wow. I hope he's not Aronson. I hope he's not Dan James. But I can't make a significant argument say he's not. He plays up the middle. I don't know. I think Dan James is quicker. That's gutting. No names. You gutted me right there. I don't want to. I don't want to think about that. I think Aronson's got better upside. He's younger, I think, and I think Aronson's ability to turn players is better, and I think Aronson is a better. They're probably similar on pressing. They're probably very similar on pressing. Aronson does have the most pressures in the Premier League. I'll just maybe end with that. But yeah, early doors. He hasn't played a full season yet. Aronson has been playing in position. Yeah. Hooray, Martin. Hooray, sir. Got one over. Man, I think this is a good day. That's the bottom line. This is a good day. This is we got to win. We're in the 5th round. We got one over the line. And again, I started this stream off with like, why is it with Leeds United incoming transfers, we are just dying online for a here we go, or this is official, or someone with some sort of credibility. It gets leaked. So CDK, RDP, all these guys, like it gets leaked that we're talking to them. And then it goes days and weeks without any kind of formal contract like being signed, or like 2 out of the 3 parties agree, where you have the Leeds and the player, or the Leeds and the club, and the player doesn't want to go. Like, it just seems like, and you look at other clubs and just stuff gets done quick. And it's just frustrating. It doesn't matter if it's a bigger club or top 6 quote unquote club, or Leeds. So, or a smaller club like, and what the hell is going on? What is going on at friggin' Not Forest? I mean, stop signing players. Like, you're going to be forced not to sign players now because the window's closing. But it's like, I didn't mind Nottingham Forest. Now there's just something that's just kind of irritating because they're just signing bodies. It's annoying. I don't know. Carry on the good work, Robin. Well, thank you, my friend. Love Leeds. We all love Leeds. We all love Leeds. Yeah. I don't know, just fell in love with this club, man. It's great. Fell in love with the people that support this club. He's a right character, Tom. I agree. I think you're talking about Weston. I think he's, if you start to look at him, he's just going to add that like lightness that we need. Like everything's so serious sometimes in the club. Like we're in a relegation battle and like all, but you need that Bill Alien. You need the, you need the click. You need those type of personalities to be like, okay, well, we're playing a kid's game. Let's have fun while we're doing this. Yeah, I mean, again, like if it's just at this point, because there's many American owners in the Premier League, so the 49ers are not novel. There has been American players in England for years. I just went over the thing about Fulham having 5 Americans at one point. It's the fact that Jesse's the coach at this. That's the one thing, and he's got a lot to. He has not proven it yet. He has not proven it yet. He's got to prove it. I think he will. I think there's enough attacking talent. He's got what he wants. There's no excuses. Let's smash some freaking teams now. Let's smash it, man. Let's get the hell out of relegation. We need to be going for 10th. Like I want to put this whole effing relegation BS in the bin, and I want to kick on the rest of the season. Let's beat Forest. Let's get a result with we've got 2 fixtures against Scum. Let's get points off of those guys. Let's smash some teams. I'm so over this. I'm so over this. And if Jesse can't pick up points, you know what? Get me somebody that can. I'm fair. It's not good enough at this point. It hasn't been good enough. Yes, I've seen, again, if this was the beginning of the season, we would all be saying, we're seeing good performances. You got to win. You have to win. And the good thing about the guy that's coming in, Weston McKennie, is here to freaking win. He's not a guy that's like, we played well and we got into good positions and we deserved it. He won't say stuff like that. He wants to win. He's very similar to Adams in that, right? That kid wants to win. And I think, again, I went over this earlier. He's at a position of his career, of his revenue generation, of the money that he can make. 24 years old. The window to be a professional athlete is so small that he needs to have a good 5 months. If he doesn't have a good 5 months here, his income will go significantly down. If he has a good 5 months, now you'll have the cream of the crop. If you don't, same with Jesse. The same thing could be said with Jesse. Jesse, if you don't win here, then you're going back to like a mid-table, lower league Bundesliga. Maybe you'll go back to the MLS. Like the same thing with Weston. Weston, like if he does well, he can continue on with Leeds, or he could get offers somewhere else. Like, so I think there's a lot on the line for these guys personally too, and that's why I think the loan was a better move. I was, like many of you, very nervous last night when news broke that this was a loan. I thought we could bottle it, but I, like many of you, have PTSD from the many transfers that it was like we could have had. We could have had this. We could have had that, but we bottled it at the end, and now we got nothing. And I say that with a grain of salt because the best player right now at the club, or the most exciting player at the club, we can all say it in unison. Who is it? It's Willie Nanto. And he was a deadline day deal. So, I started off this stream again. Credit Andre Radrizzani. And I almost am shocked that I'm saying this. I know the naysayers can say it's not his money. He's selling the club. And you know what? He's still the chairman. He got 3 quality signings over the line. The squad looks good. 21 of you here, please smash the like so it can kick on the algorithm, grow the channel. I'm at 500 subscribers. The point of this channel is to have a conversation. That's all the point of this channel is. It's not to win arguments. It's not to be, oh, this guy's bad, this guy's good. That raise our consciousness around Leeds United, what is happening at the club. It bodes well for Leeds if McKinney wants to win, and when he's on the field with Tyrell Adams, who likes to organize, and Mr. Vober, who organizes as well, is looking up for the Peacocks. Yeah, I agree with this. These guys want to win. These guys like football. So, there's just too much now at this point where I couldn't necessarily say that last year. I couldn't say the following last year. There's too much talent on this club for it to be relegated. Last year, I could really just say, I'm sorry. The only players that were Premier League, like mid to upper table players, was Rafinha and Phillips was gone. Maybe you could say Bamford. Bamford was gone. Like, it was just such a threadbare squad. The team could be relegated. You were kind of thinking that the whole way. And when Jesse first took the job, I was going, this guy's insane. I wouldn't touch this club right now. Just not because the club is bad or Leeds or anything like that. I'm just looking at the squad. So the excuses are out the window. And Jesse, this is a must win coming up for next week. Glad it appears to be a done deal. Yeah, Kimberly, get in, as they say. Hopefully we get this signed, sealed, and deliver. Wants to come, which is good. And he's supposed to have agreed terms. Yeah, I'm at the point I didn't want to come on this stream and be like saying anything. There's so many reputable journalists behind this that I will come out and talk about it. Otherwise, I would think it's a waste of breath. He is coming to Leeds. Sounds like he's going to do a medical. I don't know. The other thing is, fan base wise, this will grow the club. Weston is probably behind Christian Pulisic, the second most famous American player. Aronson, yeah. Tyler, I would say Tyler is 3 or 4. Weston is Robin to the Batman. I would surprise say Weston's probably in many times maybe better. Maybe he's Batman. I don't know. Jojo. Competition amongst Leeds players, playing time will be raised the level for sure. Yeah. It'll be interesting. They have to get these guys embedded. I like the look of Ruter today. I like the look of just how his movement was, his ability to win the ball. Jesse said afterwards that he understands the system, which I thought would be correct, playing from Germany. There's something about, I don't know. Jesse just likes Germany. The other thing is Weston played in Germany. A lot of our players, there seems to be a pipeline of American talent to Germany. coaching, Red Bull, etc. Like it's accepted a little bit more, where in England it's you got to prove it. Like also Dortmund, like that's where Christian Pulisic was. That's where obviously well, I don't know. They've just been doing talent. So Pulisic was there, and as well as Gio Reyna's there currently. So I think our possession has dropped way down under March. Yeah, he's not a possession-based manager. Good. This is a good graphic. This is cool, Steven. Our possession has dropped way down under March. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. He's not a possession-based guy. He's a guy that he's a ball-orientated manager that likes to drop the net and press the ball and then go for goal. I always got nervous, specifically early on when we did have possession. When we have possession, I think some Leeds fans go, "Oh, great, we're dominating the game." I'm going, there's a lot of teams in the Premier League that will give you the ball. They're happy to give you the ball and have you break them down. And then when you F up, it's 1-0, it's 2-0, and it's game over. So, Jesse's got to learn. And the other thing is the Premier League is a counter-attacking defensive league. What do I mean by that? Well, everybody's got to play a traditional quote-unquote top 6 side. That's 12 games a year. So everybody needs to understand how to defend when there's a talent or quality gap. And Jesse came in, or is coming in and saying, I don't know how to counterattack, but it's a different type of counterattack. It's like a high press, high line counterattack that will get figured out very quickly. He's adapting. Look, I mean, whether it's right or wrong, and I think there's case to say that it's wrong out there, and I don't disagree with it. I just love Leeds, and I will back the manager, whoever it is. There's case out there to say that Jesse's adapting and learning, and whether that is okay to do in this scenario is wrong, right? So like he's learning on the job. You could say that this is not the place to learn on the job. That's basically what I'm saying. I have to believe it. And yeah, you could look at other managers that have learned on the job in the Premier League. Let's get another Chelsea result. Hell yeah. Steve, hell yeah. Let's get another Chelsea result. Aronson is looking like Dan. Oh God, I can't. Don't do that. Just because, I don't know. I don't like that juju. No name. It's annoying. Sticky comparison. Aronson, DJ. Haha. Yeah. It's early doors too. It's early doors. Dan has been in the Premier League for 4 years. Aronson's been in the Prem for 6 months. So when he was doing his work early on, cheers everybody. He was able to turn players like in his radius, his ability to turn was causing people to grab his shirt. It was causing fits. I think he's missing some bravery on the ball. That's really what I think this is more about than being a Dan James. So I'm still bullish on Aronson. He almost scored the goal of the season at Crystal Palace. So I'm still bullish on him. But McKinney coming into the side, I don't see a spot for him currently on his current form. McKinney signs, and we could even make a top 12. Yeah. Red Bull link. Just want to catch up. I'm also feeling positive for the first time, especially with these signings coming in. Mr. Vober, Mr. Koch. In defense, more solid signings looking up. Keep fighting. Absolutely. Let's see if I can find Weston McKennie's father. John McKinney, Airborne 69. Military guy, but I like that he gets stuck in. Please like the stream. It kicks it on to other people. Let them know. Let them know what's going on. So this is his dad, and you gotta love a dad that fights for their kid, and he's cool. Like the documentary that I saw, like military guy, Air Force, could definitely kick my ass. Like, strong dad. Also believed in his son. Believed in both of his kids. But I like the fact that he gets stuck in a little bit. He retweeted this. So I don't know that, he's trying to say like, I don't know. He's just prideful of his son. I think Weston McKennie is better than Leeds. Lexi Lawless and David Mossy react to rumors of Leeds United being linked. I think he retweeted. So I think he retweeted this because there was an earlier kind of like dialogue that somebody said that he's not good enough for Arsenal. So let's see if I can get into his tweets and replies. But anyways, he's somebody, I think, give him a follow. He's at Airborne 69. Weston McKennie to Arsenal, discuss. Some guy goes, no, Arsenal, keep this lad away from our club. And he has been injured, and that might be a concern for us long term. That's because he doesn't complain about small injuries. I like that he gets stuck into like random, fans, and goes hard until he absolutely needs a medical. I appreciate a lad like this on my team. What a dad. I love it. He doesn't. Keep this washed up product far away. All right. Would you, USMNT only is a great account. I recommend all Leeds fans follow this. Would Arsenal be a good landing spot for Weston McKennie? This is early in the window. What anybody forgets is that's what they said about him at Juve. I like he said something about, what is this guy smoking? I want some. Yes. McKinney's nowhere close to being technically good enough for Arteta's side. He doesn't even have the creative passing IQ or the positional IQ. I think Musa, he is very good, by the way, is a better American to sign if they want depth for Xhaka's position. What are you smoking? Can I get some? Look, he's quality. You guys can look. You've looked at his. I'm sure you've looked at some of his highlight videos. You've looked at some of his, some of his goals. He's going to be quality. If you looked at him at his USA game versus England, that's a massive midfield that he held his own and at times dominated with Adams. I think he's a good passer of the ball. Some people don't rate his passing, which is wild to me. Maybe you don't rate his passing next to Paul Pogba, Juve people, but like, I think he's a decent passer of the ball. I think, and he's very good in the air. I think he'll smack the ball in the net sometimes too. So he's quality. He's depth. He is a clicky, if you want to think of him as a clicky replacement, he's a little bit of that because he's got the personality. He plays the attacking midfield position. He will play it different than clicky. He'll play it a little bit, and he's also clever. He's also cheeky AF. He's cheeky, like he'll do a little back heel. Stuff will pull off for him. And like I said, look no further than USA England. I think he was the best player for 60 minutes for the United States. And that was a well-organized England team that was, I think, game managing, but at the same time, like Weston was the one player that was probably the most dangerous, and I think should have scored. He had a volley, half volley that he should have put in. So get excited, Leeds fans. I mean, he'll probably be in a 4-3-3. I don't foresee him being a holding midfielder. I don't foresee him being a 10. He'll either be like a wide midfielder or and he'll be quality. He'll be that X factor, like I said early on in the stream. When you have 14, I can look in the stats in some of these games. When you have 14 corners and you don't score, I don't know. That's the delivery needs to be better, but like Weston being in that box, I think is going to help us. He is incredible. He's very good in the air. If you look at his highlights, like half the highlight video is him in the air. So, and again, I think he gets that from his training early as a kid in American football, as an American football player, again, closest thing would be rugby. So he's not afraid to lock up with people and put his head around. So anyways, that's it for the stream. Thanks everybody for hanging with me. What a great day. Advance to the 5th round. Let me catch up on your comments if I missed anything, and then we'll sign off. Weston feels another Coutinho to Arsenal. He'll be ready to go, or a bench player. I don't think he'll be on the bench. I think he'll be off the bench to start, and then I think he'll play. And I think he actually puts Aronson out of the starting lineup eventually, depending on fitness. And then the attacking options. I mean, you could start to list the attacking options. Yeah, Click Housery, absolutely. Steven is a Steven. You know Leeds. He will be a Click Housery replacement in terms of just his click. Yeah, his SHIT Housery. All the signs mean that Marsh's job is safe for the moment. Look, I think he's got people will be calling for his job if he doesn't get a win at Forest. I think the board will give him until the entirety of February. But F that. Let's get some wins, and let's not even think about that. Like, I don't know. I don't want to think about it. We're on to the next round. We got McKinney. Get in. Like, I don't want to think about the relegation stuff. I don't want to think about it. Like, yeah. Look, we're confident going into next week. The momentum of the positive news of getting a player in, winning a solid 3-1. Sinisterra getting healthy. Somerville getting healthy. A new player coming in the door. Ruter getting embedded in the side. Like, stack the W's. You know what I mean? Like, when you're trying to do a project and you're working for your company and you're working for your organization, you're trying to stack when you're in a rut, but then you start to stack W's, and it's that momentum. And like, that's hopefully what's coming with this club. And then, Jesse long-term, I think hopefully we can judge after this season, but take it from there. McKinney should give that added spice. He wants to come to Leeds, and everyone around should feed off his will to win. Phil, and we'll end it on this. Yeah, absolutely. Great comment. He had there were other clubs sniffing. There was a Juve stream that I dipped into. Whether it was clubs that he like bigger clubs or Germany, he wanted to come to Leeds, or Aston Villa or Forest, like teams in and around us. For whatever reason, he wanted to come to Leeds. And so we want people that want to be here, and that's where he wants to be here. So get stuck in. Welcome to Leeds, and let's kick on this season. Get out of the scrap. Marching on together. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Follow me. I am at American Leeds on Twitter. I'm thinking I'm going to be streaming with Jeer. He's doing a transfer deadline day window. Tune into Leeds United The View on Twitter, on YouTube. And good night, everybody. Have an excellent, excellent Saturday. And we will see you again soon. Be well. Bye.